What's going on, everybody? It's your pal Cookie McGee back with another video once again. Back with my second video for today. I did a vlog video earlier today, and now it's time to do a movie review. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about 5 movies that I saw in theaters recently, so let's talk about them. First up is Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. I saw this one 2 weeks ago, and I thought it was okay. This is the sequel to the first film, Ready or Not, which was released back in 2019. I watched that movie for the first time on Disney Plus back in January, and I thought it was great. And I personally don't think it really needed a sequel. But I still went ahead and checked out the sequel anyways. It was okay. I mean, it's kind of the same movie except on a much bigger scale, but it's nowhere near as good as the first movie. Here you got our protagonist, Grace, from the first movie, played by Samara Weaving. She gets arrested after the events of the first film and calls her estranged sister, Faith, played by Katherine Newton, for help. And then they both get captured by the what do you call the family? I don't remember what the fucking group is called. They get kidnapped by the group connected to the family from the first movie, and they're up for round 2. If they can survive 24 hours, if Grace and Faith can survive 24 hours, they can control everything. If they manage to survive 24 hours from being hunted down from the members of the families of the high chair. Yeah, that's what it's called now. So it's basically the same story as the first movie, but on a much bigger scale. I mean, this movie was fun to watch, but I personally found it was really unnecessary, because I think the first movie was fine as a standalone film, but there were definitely some fun parts in it too. It's pretty gory. It's got some good kills. Sam Weaving is great in the film, and Katherine Newton's great in the movie too. Same with Sarah Michelle Gellar. And you even got a small role from David Cronenberg at the very beginning of the film, which was nice. But overall, this movie was, while it was fun to watch, even if it's not the best movie in the world, I personally think it was unnecessary for the first movie to get a sequel. But it was still a fun movie to watch. But I much prefer the first film over this one. But again, it wasn't bad. So I don't have anything else to say, so I'm giving Ready or Not, Here I Come a 6.5 out of 10. Not bad, not great, but fun to watch. The next film I watched was The Intouchables. I've been wanting to check this movie out for quite a long time, ever since I watched the American remake in 2019 with Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart. This is the original 2011 French film. It's been on my watch list for a long time, and I actually think this movie is a lot better than the American remake. The American remake still wasn't too bad, although I haven't seen that one since I saw it in theaters. And when I was doing a little research on this movie before making this video, I didn't realize there were more remakes of this movie than just the American one. There was one that was made in India. There was one that was made in, I believe it was in Spain or Mexico. I can't remember, but there are multiple remakes of this movie, but we are talking about the original film from 2011. In this film, it follows a man named Driss who becomes a caretaker for this rich paraplegic man named Philip, who becomes paralyzed after a paragliding accident, leaving him paralyzed with his arms and legs being paralyzed. So Driss decides he gets hired to become his caretaker, and the two form a friendship on two different lifestyles. Whereas Philip is a wealthy man, and Driss is a man who was released from prison after serving a 6-month prison sentence for theft. And they both learn about each other and their struggles, and stuff like that. That's basically what the story of this film is about. I really, really love this one. I watched this one at the Metro for the Francophone Film Festival, and this was actually the last film of the festival for this year. And I guess this was its screening for the film's 15th anniversary. But yeah, I really, really liked it. It was really funny. It was entertaining, and it's has some great performances, and it's just a great movie. It's a great feel good movie that I really, really loved, and it just works a way more than the American remake set out to do. I mean, I haven't watched the remake since I saw that one in theaters, but I remember thinking it was pretty good. But this movie is way better, though. But if you haven't seen the original, definitely check it out. It is hilarious, and I highly recommend it. And it's all in all, it's a great film that I highly recommend. I'm giving this one an 8.5 out of 10. Next up is the new Julia Ducournau film Alpha. I saw this one last Saturday, and I know this film's got a lot of mixed reactions since its premiere at Cannes last year. I really enjoyed it, but it's not really the same level of quality as Great compared to her two previous films, which were Raw from 2016 and Titane from 2021, which both of those I really, really enjoyed. In fact, her previous film, Titane, was the Palme d'Or winner at the Cannes Film Festival back in 2021. This was a bit of an interesting film. You got this single mom and her daughter, who is 13. One day she comes home from school. She has this tattoo with the letter A on her shoulder, and there's a virus that's going on. I'm not really sure how to describe the virus, but the virus in this film is quite interesting, and she's worried that she and the mom is worried that her daughter's been infected with the virus, and her brother comes in to live with them, who may or may not be infected with the virus, and this is basically a family drama film with some body horror elements in the film, and it's I'm trying to remember what the term. It's an allegor. No, it's a film that's somewhat of a metaphor for the AIDS virus, and it really does show throughout the film, and I found that really, really interesting. But the film is without its flaws, and there are quite a few flaws I can think of with this movie. The story is a little bit, um, the story is a little bit difficult to well, I wouldn't say difficult to follow, but it's kind of all over the place, and it's a little bit inconsistent. And on top of that, the film's CGI looks terrible. Like, there is some CGI in the film and some practical effects, but the problem is some of the CGI, especially near the end of the film, looks really, really bad, especially at the final scene in the film when there's like that sandstorm. It just looks terrible. But those are my only complaints with this movie. But other than that, I thought it was great, but it definitely isn't for everybody. Although not a lot of people seem to like this one, but I personally really, really enjoyed it for what it is. But again, it's nowhere near as good as Raw or Titan or Titan. I think it's Titan. Yeah, it's Titan. Never mind. It's not as good as those two films, but I still really enjoyed this film for what it was. And if you like Raw or Titan, you might like this one, you might not, but I personally really enjoyed it for what it was. But again, it's not for everybody. So I'm giving Alpha an 8 out of 10. Next up is Stand By Me, directed by Rob Reiner and based on the novella The Body by Stephen King. I have not read the novella that it's based on, but I'll probably give it a read one day if I can find a copy of it. Anyways, I've seen this film once before, a couple years ago, 5 years ago to be exact, and I really liked it. And I saw the film again on Monday for the film's 40th anniversary, as it was given a limited re-release in theaters, and one of the theaters in my area was screening it, and so I went ahead and saw it, and it's a great film. Definitely one of Rob Reiner's best films. It's really sad what happened to him and his wife back in December. They were murdered by their son. So rest in peace to both Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. I think that was her name. But yeah, rest in peace to both of them. Anyways, this film is a retelling of a story about four boys who go out into the woods. It takes place in 1959, and they're out to go find a dead body of a boy who was killed in an accident, but nobody knows where he is, and people are out looking for him. So these group of boys set out to go find the body to become town heroes or something, and they learn about themselves and right or wrong and right and wrong and all this other stuff. And it's a really really good movie. It's got some great performances from the late River Phoenix. It's got Will Wheaton, um, Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland, and um, yeah, there were, and I'm surprised John Cusack was in this movie. I didn't even know he was in this movie until the credits rolled. I forgot he was even in this movie. I believe this is one of his first movies. I know this movie came out before Say Anything, which is one of John Cusack's most memorable roles, although I still haven't seen that movie. I'll probably check it out one day. It's a really, really good film. It's funny, it's depressing, and it definitely, the ending, though, just, damn, that is, it's a heavy ending, but it's like one of the most, memorable endings to any film that I've ever seen. And it's got the use of the song Stand By Me by Ben E. King. I think that's the singer's name. I don't remember. But if you haven't seen Stand By Me, definitely check it out. It's one of the best films ever made, and one of the best Stephen King adaptations ever made, period. And one of Rob Reiner's best films. Rest in peace, Rob Reiner and River Phoenix. Anyways, I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10. And the last film we're going to talk about in this video for today is a new movie that I saw in theaters last night, actually. It came out last week, I think it was, like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and I saw it last night. And that is Project Hail Mary. This film was directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who also directed Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the Lego Movie, 21 and 22 Jump Street. And I gotta say, I'm surprised they actually directed this movie. But anyways, this film is an adaptation of a novel by Andy Weir, who also wrote the novel of The Martian. I never did read the novel for either this movie or The Martian, but I did see The Martian in theaters back in 2015, although I haven't seen it since then. That's a great movie from what I remember. A lot of people are really, really liking this film, and I gotta say, it's pretty great, and I really enjoyed this one. You basically, you got the scientist who's sent up to outer space to stop this bacteria or whatever that's going on across space that's basically destroying planets and what's eventually killing the sun. If it's not stopped within 30 years, planet Earth could go extinct. And then the scientist is teamed up with with an alien named Rocky, and the two must cooperate with each other to help save their respective planets. And that's basically what the story of this film is about in a nutshell. Oh, and there's a lot of flashbacks throughout the film. I really, really enjoyed this one. I thought it was pretty great. It has some really good storytelling. It's got some good characters, and Rocky is the most memorable character of the whole film. It's funny. It's got a lot of heart, and Yeah, it was a really really good movie. It definitely lives up to the hype. Although I didn't love it as much as most people do, I still thought it was a great movie. It's definitely a mix between Interstellar, a little bit of 2001: Space Odyssey, and Sunshine, the Danny Boyle movie, which I actually still haven't watched yet, but I do want to check that one out eventually. But yeah, I thought it was a great science fiction film, and probably one of the best science fiction films of the decade so far. And yeah, it's a really, really great film. And Ryan Gosling is great in the film. Same with Sandra Hüller, who you might know from the movies Anatomy of a Fall and The Zone of Interest. Both of those are very good movies that I would highly recommend you check out. But yeah, I thought it was great. I definitely do want to check out the book that this movie is based on one day, because obviously the book is a lot different. And yeah, I'll definitely check out the book one of these days. And other than that, it was a great film that definitely lives up to its hype. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. Definitely check it out. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, comment below, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And stay tuned for more videos that'll be coming out soon. But in the meantime, this is Kookie McGee signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all later. And take it easy, guys. Peace. Bye bye.